this live with us on the BabyChakra platform. And let me just quickly introduce you to our viewers. Pritika is a counseling psychologist. She's a blogger, and she also runs a page on Instagram called Mommy and her Muse. Pritika has lived and studied abroad for over a decade, and she is also an early childhood educator. She's also a mom to a lovely 3 year old girl, and today we are going to talk about 5 things that you should know about being a mother and how it affects your mental health.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that very humbling introduction. And thank you so much for having me here on this wonderful platform. I know you guys are a support system for so many parents, not just pan India, but globally as well. And it is a real honor to be able to reach out to so many people. And thank you for having me here once again.
You're very, very welcome. And let's quickly get started. So, tell me, like, because you've been working so closely with moms, I see, like, you have this IP called Went Out Wednesday. And then I see so many moms reaching out to you because I think as moms, we need like another mom who can understand us. Like, I don't think like if even if say like I have a friend whose child is say like 10 years old and mine is 3 years old, she will not know the kind of mental state that I am in, right? Like,
Yeah.
she might have forgotten. Like, now when
Yeah.
I talk to my friends who have just delivered, I don't remember that time when I was there. So
Yeah.
I think that is why it is important to have this community, the kind of community that you run and the kind of community that Baby Chakra is. Like, that support system is really important for everybody. So tell me, what are the most common concerns raised by moms that you figured out?
All right. So, I believe I'm privy to a couple of very, very essential platforms where I'm able to reach out to a lot of moms pan India and even globally, I would like to believe. So, uh, I've done a MSc in psychology, I have an MA in literature, I have an MA in counseling psychology. So, I feel like theoretically, everything I learned is now so evident and so visible in front of my eyes, specifically when I interact with moms. And it was this very reason that I launched not only Mommy and Her Muse on Instagram, but I also have a support group on WhatsApp called the Moms Club. And it's a very dynamic platform because every day in and out, moms are able to raise their concerns and raise their queries. And simultaneously, I have a private practice where I'm going really deep into like what the real concerns that
Right.
mothers are facing and feel very isolated. I think it's really strange because motherhood is supposed to be a journey which is it's supposed to be the most beautiful time of your life, and it's supposed to be the most enriching experience, and you're supposed to be full of love and oxytocin and all of these beautiful hormones. But then somewhere reality comes crashing down, and that expectation versus reality doesn't match, and you start to get these feelings: what am I doing wrong? Or am I not good enough? Is my child not okay? Am I not okay? Like, what's going wrong here? So, I think when we speak of the most common concerns, I think number one of them is losing identity. I often get mothers who come to me and say, I don't feel like myself anymore. I myself have gone up to my friends and say, I can't recognize a person standing in front of the mirror because this is not who I used to be a couple of years ago. And just aligned with that, I think your dynamics with your husband changes too. And ironically, you're supposed to feel more together, and yet somehow becoming a mother somewhere pulls you a little bit away from your spouse. It takes the attention away from the marriage and puts all of the attention on the baby or the child or
Right.
even the teenager for that matter of fact. And then those questions in your mind arise, why am I not feeling so in love with my husband? Why do I not feel like connecting with him anymore? Or why do I feel like he doesn't understand? Why am I up all night nursing and he's just sleeping? Like, why can't he breastfeed my child? Why do I have to do this? And in fact, even that spouse envy, he gets to go out and work every day. He's not facing any mom guilt. And the moment I step out for something, I'm just constantly thinking about my child, and he's just set free and he has no pressure and all of those things. And then this leads to the next thing, which is the burnout. You feel extremely exhausted just doing this round the clock, because unlike a job, you don't get Saturday Sundays off, you don't get your nights off, you're not going out on Friday nights. And even if you are, you're constantly worried, are she'll wake up, or
Yeah.
what's going to happen if I don't get in time, or and when they're sick, then well, all hell breaks loose. Then there is nothing, and you're just doing it round the clock. So, and unfortunately, there is so much stigma around
Yeah.
mental health in our community. Nobody talks about it. And God forbid, and I'm telling you from personal and professional experience both. When I'm talking about myself, my peers, my friends, my clients, I've often heard that every time I try to express that I'm burnt out, that this is so hard, that I don't think I can do this, the only thing I get in return is, oh, she's so ungrateful, or she doesn't love her child enough. And that judgment that you face
Yes.
kind of overpowers and overshadows everything else that you're doing. And
Yeah.
you start feeling like, I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing it correctly. And that just breaks my heart, because I was
Yeah.
like, we're all moms, you're all mothers. Even if not today, the elders have been parents too. But that
Yes.
lack of empathy, or like you said, maybe we forget. Maybe we
Yes.
forget
Yeah.
what it feels like to be a new mom postpartum. And maybe the teenage moms have forgotten what a toddler mom struggle is. Or maybe
Yeah.
our mother in laws and mothers have forgotten how hard it is to do this right now. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just that. But the concerns are very common. And I see them day in and day out with my clients, with my friends, with my fellow parents.
So it's like we're not alone. Like there are other parents. Like I've heard, like even men feel a little left
Absolutely.
out, because whenever everybody, like like guests come, they all they will ask is, how's the baby, how's the mom. Nobody asks about the dad. And like this beautiful bond that a mom can create with the baby while breastfeeding. So like I've heard that even the dads at a point start feeling left out, like like there
Absolutely.
is something that is happening with the mother and the child, and
Yeah.
I'm like not a part of.
I don't know how to be a part of it.
I
Yeah.
don't, yeah. So
Yeah, because hormonally we are doing all of the pregnancy, we're doing the birthing, we're doing the breastfeeding, we're doing all of those cuddles and all of the love. So the oxytocin and estrogens are at all times high.
yeah.
So naturally, the connection that we uh, very visibly have with our children, men tend to lack. But
Right.
I think it comes around when the children are a little bit older, and then they're just like
Yes.
dad's kids. Like
Right.
all they want is, when is Papa coming home? When is Papa there? And I think you're very right. And I think even that is a very unaddressed topic in our
Yes.
community, that even dads feel burnt out. Like, I distinctly remember there were days when my husband felt very burnt out because he was trying to help with the night wakings, but in the morning he had to get to work, and he was just zombied out. And
Yes.
poor thing, he couldn't even cry and vent because I was doing all of the crying and venting and screaming.
Yes.
They have no outlets, and unfortunately, men in
I
our
think men
community are
are not
very
even allowed to have outlets. I mean, there's
bingo,
so much
bingo.
social stigma around it. Like
Exactly.
they're not allowed
Bingo.
to feel what they are feeling.
That's what I was getting to next, that there is no space for them to feel and to express that I'm really tired, or I'm feeling really overwhelmed, and I want to connect with you. I want to connect with the baby. I want to connect with myself. But there's no space, there's no dialogue around it. So it's really
Yes.
unfortunate, because both partners, both parents are struggling simultaneously, and there's no bridge
Yes.
to help it become a bit better. And
Yes.
I think that's where counseling comes into the picture, that's where support systems comes into the picture. Whether it is your friends, whether it is your parents, whether it is your peers at work, or whether it's a professional like me, I think we need to encourage people to reach out more. We
Yes.
absolutely need to start doing that, because this can be avoided. The mental stress can be avoided. There is a way to deal with it, there's a way to cope with it. But I don't know why, but we don't have that yet. It's not out there yet.
Yeah.
So
I think as parents, and like we should be educating our community of parents. You have friends, I have friends. For now, we have viewers who are listening this conversation, and we should be open to receiving these kind of talks, not just from
Yeah,
like your moms, but also your
yeah,
husbands and your brothers, whoever, like if you feel they are open to talking to you about it, you should absorb it with an open mind, and not like just shy away from talking about it. Like men are not supposed to be like this. I mean, I remember that my husband has this really funny anecdote that he'll tell everybody that Gianna kept on waking up every now and then, every now and then, and then Barkha was getting up, feeding her, going back to sleep, and then when she finally got up the fourth time, Barkha took the pillow and threw it on my face like, how can you sleep through this? But then he's like, what else would I do? I mean, you are the one who
no,
has to feed. I mean, what else? But at that time, I was so angry. Like, I was in
yeah,
rage. I was like, why am I the one who has to do all of this all alone? I mean, it's your
yeah,
child too. But then that's where you said, right? Like the counseling part comes in. I mean, a lot of times, even dads need that support and that help, and even as moms,
absolutely.
we need to be receptive of their
Yeah.
feelings. And like
In
you were
fact,
mentioning,
recently,
yes,
no, in fact, recently I've been reading a lot of research which is showing that postpartum depression is not just limited to women.
yeah,
Postpartum depression is now coming to light with men as well, with fathers as well. And that depression that comes to light just postpartum hits you the hardest, because you don't want to come across as ungrateful. You don't want to come across as, because you've genuinely prayed for this child
yeah,
to come into your life. You have prayed for all divine blessings to come and be there and witness the birth of this child. Your family is pouring in all sorts of love. You want to pour in more, but still there is something physiologically that's happening in your mind and body that is pushing you towards sadness, and you can't understand and comprehend that kind of sadness because it doesn't align. You don't
yes,
want to be sad. I mean, you don't want to look at this child and just be like, why did I have this baby? Like, why did I do this to
yeah,
myself? But it all happens. And to whoever is listening, to whichever mother, father, whoever you are, wherever you are, if you are listening, please let me reiterate that you are not alone, and you are not ungrateful, and you are not abnormal, and there is nothing wrong with you if you are feeling these things. If you are feeling like you just want to sit and cry because you are so tired and you just can't get this baby to stop crying, or this toddler to listen to you, or this teenager to stop that constant battle, you're not alone. There are thousands and thousands of people across the globe going through the exact same thing. The only thing I feel that you are not doing for yourself is asking for help. And just talk to whoever you feel has the empathy to listen to you and understand where you're coming from. There is no judgment here. Like, even on my page on Mommy and Amuse, I specifically started Vented Out Wednesday for this very reason, that okay, I understand you don't want to seek professional help because of course there's more stigma around that कि मैं पागल थोड़ी हूँ मैं, मतलब there's nothing wrong with me that I need to come to you for therapy and counseling. We'll get to that also. But you just want to vent. I'll listen. I will give you my thought. I'll tell you what I think. But vent, get it out of your system, get a fresh perspective, and do it anonymously. If you feel like coming on my page will make somebody else see your name, I stopped all of that also, that I'm not going to tag you anywhere. I'm just going to address your concern. And it's funny because a lot of people then DM me saying I had the exact same issue, like I'm
yeah,
facing the exact same thing. And I feel so good to know that somebody else has also said something so similar. Toddler tantrums, newborn postpartum depression, teenage rebellion, these are all very, very common. You are not alone.
yeah.
Please seek help. It will make a world of a difference.
Right. So, like you said, right? A lot of times, even when I read out the kind of messages people are, sharing on your page, I feel like I've been there, and all of this is real. And
Yeah.
we do, like, when we reach that point where we know that we need help, we should not shy
Yeah.
away from getting the professional help. Like, you know like, if you feel that your friends are going to judge you, you don't have to tell them what you're going through, or if you are seeking help. And once you are in a better place, then maybe you can talk about your experience openly.
Absolutely. So, in fact, one of the first code of ethics that we follow as practitioners of mental health is that confidentiality comes absolutely above and beyond everything else. Your name, your identity. In fact, even when we have professional discussions, even when we have academic discussions, there is never a mention of the name of the client. There is never a mention of any identity revealing information about the client. So, if you're afraid that someone's going to judge you on the fact that you've sought help, I respect that too. I have no issue with that. My only concern is, did you seek the help that you wanted? Are you getting the kind of support that you're looking for? Whether you came to me, whether you went to anybody else, whatever it was, just help yourself. You know, it's very very easy to lock yourself up in a room and feel like nobody understands, and it happens to all of us, Barka. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened at some stage to you. I'm sure it's happened to every mother. I don't know how much about fathers. Possibly we should get the husbands on this live to find out more. But every mother, every woman who's experienced parenting, I think, has that day where they've just sat in the room and wept and said, why is this happening to me? I,
And I
I
can't
don't
do
want
it
to feel like
anymore.
this. I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore. I just need a break. But that break never comes because your child is standing outside the door crying for you. So, um, these are all normal things, guys.
So
Don't
tell me,
isolate
like,
yourself.
like, what is that point? Like, that point when we know that, this is when I seek help. This is where.
Oh, Barga, I hate to disagree to this because I really truly believe that counseling and therapy are not last resorts. I really feel that one must not wait to the point that they're literally standing on the cliff knowing that agar abhi kuch nahi kiya na, to I'm just going to fall off this cliff.
Right.
I I want to encourage you to seek help even before then. Because you know what happens is that when you're on that cliff and you know, Abhi, I'm just going to just fall, it becomes a crisis prevention session. Then I'm just trying to hold on to you that just cool off now. Like, let's talk about right now. But when you start a little bit earlier, when you start noticing the first signs that something's off, I'm not feeling like myself, I'm not feeling good about this, that's the point where ideally I would like to encourage people to go to professionals. That I think something's starting to go off. This is not how I usually am. But of course, if you don't yet recognize that need, that's fair too. I respect that as well. But I feel when you stop feeling aligned with your mind and body, when you feel like I just can't do it anymore and I'm now just going to break or I have already broken. When you're sitting in your bathroom crying, sobbing, and unable to catch a breath, please pick up the phone and call somebody, because very likely you're in the midst of a panic attack or an episode of mild depression. Very mild. This is not intense depression, guys.
Yeah.
I don't want even labels to come floating like that. I'm just saying because now there is some level of awareness about these things.
Yeah.
So there's no diagnosis here, but if you're feeling low, if you're feeling out of control, if you feel like you can't do it anymore, just pick up the phone and call. Drop me a DM, drop me an email, whatever it is. Reach out to whoever you feel comfortable with.
Right. So
In
so
fact,
when we
even call
start
up your
feeling.
husband, call up your mom, call up your dad, your siblings, whoever, your neighbors, your friends. Listen, I'm not doing well. Can you please come over? Can I please come over? I need help. So, wherever, whoever, whatever form it is, it's important that you get that support.
So basically, the time when we start feeling that, this is
Yeah.
not right, this is not me. Like, I remember it took me, Pritika, personally, it took me a long time to feel like myself again. And there was a day I was just sitting with a friend and I was having like a conversation with her. And I think my daughter was already two and a half by then. And I told her that, now, like, finally, I feel like myself again. Like, I feel like I know this person. Like, it's been a journey for me
Yeah.
personally, and it's taken me so long to get where I am currently. So I
Yeah.
really do understand when other people, tell me that it took me a while to get here.
Yeah.
So that's why we need to be compassionate when somebody is
Yeah.
trying to tell us about the struggles that they've faced. So, like, how would you advise, like, if somebody, like, if my friend is coming and telling me that, this is what I've gone through, so, like, how should I be like a good friend to them, or if, like, how should I tell them subtly in case they need professional help? Like, if they're
Okay.
telling me that I'm not feeling this, so I how do I tell them that, I think this is where I will suggest you see professional help?
So, I think the number one lesson that we learn in therapy, that we learn as therapists, as practitioners of mental health, whether it is in college, whether it is in our rotations, whether it's in our internships, whether it's in our professional practice, is that to be a good support system, you need to listen first. And you need to just listen for a majority of the time. So oftentimes my counseling sessions are where I think for 80%, 90% of the times I'm just listening. I'm just prodding you with questions because I want to really help you explore your real feelings. There's always a lot more under the surface, you know. On the surface, I'm just feeling sad. There's
Yeah.
so many layers to that. Sad encompasses so many things. I'm feeling judged. I'm feeling like the whole world has an opinion about me, about my parenting, about my child. खाता नहीं है, सोता नहीं है, बहुत सोता है, बहुत खाता है, बात नहीं करता है, बहुत बात करता है. People are
पतला
always
है.
just waiting. पतला है, मोटा है, अरे बहुत लंबा है, बहुत छोटा है, इतनी लंबी हो जाएगी तो शादी कैसे कर, मतलब, you know, the kind of stuff that people feel entitled to tell you without asking your permission is bizarre. So, you know, sad means a lot of things. And if you want to be a really good friend, you want to be a support system, ask that person to tell you more. Listen. And oftentimes, you know, we have a habit, यार मेरे साथ भी ऐसे हुआ था, पता है, मैं when I was doing this, and suddenly it becomes about me. It stops being about you. It stops being about your problem. So try and listen, try and be empathetic, and like you said, compassionate. It's a very powerful word. And when you really feel like this person is unable to understand that reason, understand that logic, or feels so burnt out and feels so disheartened, and you know, feels that nahi ho raha hai mere se, like I'm just not able to do it anymore and I feel completely broken and I don't know how to take care of it, that's the time, you know, you should just gently nudge, yeah, are you talking to somebody? You know what, here I know this person, like for example, if you're recommending me, like now we know each other personally, so you can always say, you know, I have this friend, and because of the stigma that surrounds this topic, it's always nice to say, you know, I have this friend, and you know, she's a mom herself, she helps out a lot of people, you know, she deals with, like, you know, mothers who have issues, and she's really kind, you know, why don't you speak to her, maybe she'll help you out. So you remove the words.
Therapy.
In an ideal world, I would not encourage it because I'm propagating more awareness. But if this method of removing these trigger words of therapy and counseling and mental health, if removing them makes you more reachable, if it provides even one parent the help, I, you know, I'm going to call this person. Even if one person can feel a little bit better by your suggestion, I think it's a big battle one.
Right.
So remove the words where you feel, you know, she's going to get defensive. यार मैं पागल हूँ. Do you
Yeah.
really feel you lost it? Unfortunately, yes, my dear. Like, you are not doing well. You need to talk to somebody. But I respect that. It's okay. No, you've not lost the plot. You don't need help. Just talk to my friend. I think she'll be the right person to talk to, or talk to my colleague, or whatever it is. You know, whoever you recommend.
So, I mean, that's going to be so helpful for me personally and for our viewers. And we have a few questions that I'm going to read out for you from our viewers.
Sure. Do you want to also? So I know that our entire the whole idea of this was to give 5 tips or 5 things for parents to know, and I think we've not yet gotten to that. So should I do those now, or
Yes.
should we do this after the
Yes.
question?
No, we can do that now and then we'll take the questions.
All right. So I think, um, if I'm looking to give out 5 tips to parents who are now with young children, old children, whatever age children. Number one, you need to reset your expectations. I think, first of all, the social media is the root of so many problems. I mean, it works great for outreach and it works great, but I think there is an underlying level of toxicity on social media where, and I keep reiterating this, that it is an illusion. Please don't compare your life to somebody else's on Instagram. No one is putting out their sad faces, no one is putting out their struggles, no one is putting out videos of their crying children. Everyone wants to show perfect child, perfect home, perfect husband, perfect holiday. I don't want anyone to come to my page on Instagram and say, I wish I had this perfect life. I'm not perfect, my child is not perfect, my home is not perfect. Perfection is not what we are striving for. And when we reset that expectation of real versus real, it makes a very, very big difference. Don't compare yourself to people on Instagram and social media and even your neighbors. She is doing what she's doing. So that's one. The second one is network. Build a support system. Get your mom tribe, get your mom squad together, find friends who are along with you on this journey. And that's exactly what I'm doing on the Moms Club. There are 800 women in Pune who are connected together. There are other city chapters also, but because I'm in Pune, I get to access a lot of like the Pune chapter very easily. So when you have moms who are in the same journey as you, who are also awake at night like you are going to feel more together. Number three, another very important thing is you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give to others if you don't have it within yourself. So, constantly make it a daily habit to fill your cups, metaphorically speaking, whether it is working out, whether it is meditation, whether it is cooking, dancing, whatever it is that makes you feel joy and feel fulfilled. Even for women who work, if your work gives you joy, seek that energy from your work and then go back home and do a better job at being calmer, happier moms. My fourth tip would be focus on your physical health. Unfortunately, when you deliver, not only have you lost all of that weight, you're also losing out on vitamins like vitamin D, vitamin B, iron, calcium. All of these are depleted. So eat good food, have a lot of water, move every day, do some sort of activity, whether it's walking, Zumba, yoga, whatever it is. And the sleep, eat, hydrate, drink kind of funda is super. It just nourishes your body and soul. And my last tip would be, please seek help. Please, from in whatever way, in whichever form, from whoever it is. It need not be me, it need not be Barkha, it need not be us, it could be anybody. Just seek professional help. Don't delay it, because save yourself time, save your partner's time, save your children that time, because when you are suffering, your family is suffering with you, and they also don't know how to help you because you're suffering so deeply and so truly.
Right.
So please reach out and seek help. There's no stigma around it. We're all doing it with just pure love and empathy. So yeah, those were my five big tips. Now,
The,
yeah, let's take the questions. I know we are
yeah.
running out of time.
Yes, we are running out of time. We're just going to take one question, and that is
Sure.
from Kavita Sahane. How to deal with so many advices one receives during this period? Sometimes it's irritating, and how to be calm during the situation.
Okay. May I know the name of the person who asked the question,
Kavita.
please? Kavita. Um, Kavita, there is a very famous Hindi song that says "कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना." And please imbibe this. And it took me a very, very long time to get okay with it. I used to get triggered by the simplest thing said to me, and even those things were said to me with love. They were not said to me with spite or judgment, but it always triggered me, and I always wanted to say, my child, my body, I don't want your advice, I don't want your opinions, I'm already struggling. So people will give you advice, but my suggestion would be, build a shield around yourself, build a shield around your energy, around your mental health. You cannot control every person around you. The only thing that you can control is your reaction to everything around you. So have faith that what you are doing is the best thing for your child. You are seeking all of the information. You know, you've asked your doctors, you have asked your elders if you want that kind of input, and you know Don't you know that you're doing the best for your child? So have faith in yourself. You know no parent is not doing enough. Everyone's doing their best. Let people say whatever you have to say. Take the advice that you think helps you, and the rest of it, leave it. Build that shield. Not
Dump
everything
it,
should
like,
be affected.
just dump it. Like how you dump trash in the dustbin, just dump it.
Yeah, like my mother used to say, एक कान से डाल के दूसरे कान से निकाल दो. I would say एक कान में जाने भी मत दो.
Yeah,
Like, because when it goes in, it triggers you, it plays in your mind. Then you're like, Are, am I really not doing it right? Are, is she really not gaining weight? Are, why is she not sleeping? Is she right? Like, it
yeah.
plays. So don't filter it out. Learn to filter it out and be strong within yourself. Believe in yourself. Your child only essentially needs you. And when you believe in yourself, your child is going to thrive no matter what.
That I think that answers the question very beautifully. And Pritika is available to answer other questions on the app. You can also reach out to Pritika on Instagram at Mommy and her Muse, and she's available to. Do you want to just give them your email address in case anybody wants to reach out to you, and then we can wrap up this wonderful talk that we.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Absolutely. So you can always drop me a DM on Instagram at Mommy and Her Muse, and I'm always available and accessible there. Please rest assured, everything that is spoken to me stays in confidence, and I never take it out of that space. I truly, truly believe that my code of ethics trumps everything else. If you want to reach out to me on email, you can just email me on pritikaparwani at gmail.com. So that's just my full name at gmail.com. And yeah, feel free to talk. Come onto the page. We do a Vent It Out Wednesday every week where a lot of moms are putting on problems that I'm sure you are all also facing. So, yeah, guys, take away. You're not alone. We are
Yeah,
all in this together. We have all been through this. There is nothing wrong with you. Uh, and you're fine. Your children are going to be just fine.
just fine. Yes. Thank you so much for that end note. That it makes me a happier mom.
It makes
So
me also very happy, mom, when I tell myself she's going to be fine.
yeah, she's going to be fine. Thanks, Pritika. It was lovely having you over with the Baby Chakra community.
Thank you so much, Barkha, to you, to the entire team of Baby Chakra, and to all of the listeners who are here. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead, and yeah, just like be you, do
Your children
you.
are going to be fine.
Your
Okay.
children are going to be just fine.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Barkha. It was a really great conversation. Thank you, Baby Chakra. I appreciate it.